For collaboration to work, I want you to actively listen to me. Not just like, we can tell when you're not listening. To actively listen, to be, be involved. Because when you actively listen, you're going to understand me more. When you understand me, you're going to be able to empathize with what I'm going through. And by empathizing me, you're going to be able to empower me. And by doing that, you're going to empower yourselves.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Specialty Café, a podcast for you medical student to help you choose your specialty. My name is Sharmin Zahin, a Med 3 student from McGill University and the co-host for our new season 2026-2027. We just had an amazing chat with a patient partner for our first episode of the season, which is going to be geared toward the new residents who are going to start their journey on July 1st. So let's get started. Hello, Karen. Welcome to Specialty Café.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharmin. I am so excited to be here talking with you. You're all bright and chipper today, so I'm looking forward to the conversation.
I'm happy to have you here. I heard so many good things about you. You seem to have a very colorful personality as well. So, why don't I let you have the floor and let you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm Karen Firus, and I'm a patient partner, primarily through UBC Health with the Patient and Community Partnership for Education. I'm also a health mentor, an educator, a keynote inspirational speaker, a workshop leader and author, and I absolutely am passionate about all that I do.
That's amazing, and it's a lot that you're doing, and I'm really amazed that you are doing all this, even with the fact that you are fighting a chronic illness. So I find you very inspirational, and really, we couldn't find a better patient partner for this episode than you.
Oh, thank you so much. And one thing I will say so that others understand is that I present as having plenty of energy. This has been the way it has for my over 4 decades of having my illness. So that what you see on the outside, the hair, the makeup, all the colored stuff like that, doesn't always necessarily reflect what's going on the inside. But right now I'm in a really fabulous state, so I'm all raring to go.
That's really amazing, and thanks for bringing the energy. And I don't want to dim your light, but I still want our listener to know about your background a little bit. So do you mind if I ask you about ME or invisible chronic illness and something you want us to know about it?
Yeah. As I said, I've had it now for coming up 46 years, and it was kind of like the flu that never went away. I actually had it before it even had a name or was on the medical radar. So I'm considered a pioneer with this illness. And also I consider myself to be a success story because I really have overcome great adversity, really triumphed over things. So with ME, most commonly, it's also known as myalgic encephalomyelitis or chronic fatigue syndrome, or CFS for others who might be more familiar with that. And a lot of it is just bone-crushing fatigue. I used to be in a more severe state. I'm much better now. Cognitive issues, sleep issues, post-exertional malaise, that kind of thing. But I've really just applied myself over the years, and I've never given up. And I really think that anyone who has an illness, a chronic illness, or just not, I really believe in that sort of anything is possible, just never give up on something. One of the biggest things that, again, I had mentioned, you had mentioned, it's an invisible illness. So I really hope that people come in and don't make any assumptions. And I'll be talking a bit more about that for the first day of residency, but never presume when you meet someone, whether they have an invisible illness, whether they have a visible illness, or whatever, you never presume when you walk in that door and see who is in front of you, okay? And that's what I hope people are taking away from something like this.
Karen, you come in and you kind of brighten up the entire room with your energy and everything. But I was wondering, looking back on your healthcare journey, what are the moment or interaction with providers that stayed with you the most?
Oh boy, I have a really fantastic story for all of you listening out there. This completely rocked my world, and it shifted everything as far as my health care was concerned. I like to say to people that by making that decision with a new practitioner, my entire journey of medical practitioner karma shifted for the best. So just to give you a little bit of a lead into my story, I was with a doctor who had been my physician for my entire life. And when I started having all these bizarre symptoms and whatnot and describing things to him, he didn't believe that I was ill because nothing was on this was like this was on the map yet. It didn't exist. And so he had a hard time understanding like these crazy symptoms and most of all, because I didn't look ill, I didn't act or speak like I was ill. So it was baffling to him, and it was baffling to other specialists as well. They just, nobody believed me. Instead, I was shamed, I was humiliated, I was intimidated. It really took just the entire wind out of my emotional state, my mental, even sort of a creative spiritual state. And it is absolutely damning to be treated by a physician that way. I tried to get out of his practice, and I made a couple of attempts with other doctors, but no one wanted to touch me with a 10-foot pole because my blood tests were normal, my other tests were normal, and again because I didn't project as being ill. So eventually, I did give the dinosaur the boot. Adiosed him, and I got myself this phenomenal new GP who I'd heard about, and it was just luck I got her. So I'm sitting there the first day waiting for her to come on in, and the door comes open, and she comes in and she goes, "Hello, hello, hello, hello." And it was so different from the dinosaur guy who was kind of like, "Okay, and your blood tests don't look really good. They look fine. I'm not sure." So it was not just her energy level. It was the fact that she was herself. She wasn't trying to be a doctor. She was completely herself. She was expressing who she was. And what she did was she set the tone. She set the tone for that day meeting her. She set the tone going forward. And I can tell you, it absolutely knocked me out of my socks. I had never experienced anything like this before. So it was pivotal because in that moment, I had a new outlook on what a doctor was or could be. And again, it was interesting because it didn't matter if I was in a severe state or a good state. That might say odd saying it, but she was effervescent regardless. And then she would get down to brass tacks. So there was something heartening about being treated like this was the norm, or this is a great day kind of thing. She believed me. She believed in me. And she made every effort to understand me and go forth. And there'll be other things I'll be speaking about later, but she literally turned my world upside down for the best. And I can honestly say that meeting her and collaborating with her going forward probably is part of what saved my life. Having a poor doctor, I was actually considering, is life worth living? And I thought, well, I'm not going to end it because of this dude. No siree. I've got to get out of here.
You did a great decision firing that person and going for someone else. And at the end of the day, your life is totally worth it. And I'm so happy and glad to know that you found someone who could actually take care the whole you and just help you in your disease and help you as a person.
She wasn't afraid of me like these other dudes were. Like she
she embraced me. It wasn't scary, this person coming in with this weird illness and stuff. She was ready to dive in.
When I hear this kind of story, in French, we say, ça fait chaud au cœur, like it really warms my heart. And thank you so much for sharing this story, because I'm sure a lot of people would want to hear it and be like, okay, so this is what actually patient want to have as a healthcare professional. Now, let's imagine one of our listener is actually a resident who is starting on July 1st. They're exhausted, they're nervous. Maybe some of them also have some sort of imposter syndrome kicking in, which is very normal. And in that case, what would you want them to know before they walk into the hospital on day one?
Oh my gosh. Well, as far as the imposter syndrome is going, you have to realize that you have completed all of these years of training and that you have chosen a profession that is so exemplary that you are going to go forth and absolutely change people's lives, not just their health, and therefore have an impact on the world. So for being an imposter, you know what? We all feel that way. Oh my gosh. I have sure felt that way in the past. So, that's pretty common. So just roll with that. But know that when you walk into a room with a patient, that we are actually there cheering for you. Okay? We want you to be cool. We want you to be your best self. We want you to be great. We want you to just shine, because we're really hoping that we're going to be on a journey with you that is going to be exciting and helpful and healthy and collaborative. So we're hoping you're great. We're cheering for you right off the bat.
That's really amazing to know, because let's say I'm somebody who usually brings a happy, peppy energy. And sometimes I wonder, am I too happy? Should I tone it down? It's good to know that patients actually appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, and I don't think you should tone it down. This is the whole, root of part of what I teach, is that it's all about being authentic. It is about self-expression. You have to realize, I often quote Martha Graham, that there's no one else like you in all of time. So if you're not saying what the gig is, we're missing out on something really big. We're missing out on a special individual in our life. And yeah, first meetings can always be a little bit rough, but get in there. Set the tone, be confident, put on a big smile if that's you, and don't worry about that. One of my doctors had once mentioned that people just thought he was too happy because he was smiling all the time. And that's his normal state of being. So, and the same with me. It's like maybe they think I'm an imposter because I'm grinning and laughing again because I'm not sick. So, join the club, jump on board, and just, cast all that aside. We're there for you. We want to find the most incredible doctor for our journey ahead, and we are just hoping that it's you. Okay?
I am really happy to have someone like you as a patient, to be collaborating with you and everything. On that note, you often talk about collaboration with patient and the team members, and I wanted to know, for you, what does true collaboration actually look like between a patient and a doctor?
Yeah, so this is actually one of the things that I consider myself an expert in, not just from my lived experience, but, I kind of, after all these decades of illness, consider myself a professional patient. And I have learned the art of collaboration over the years. I'm a health mentor at UBC, where I teach collaboration, interprofessional collaboration, but also collaborative decision making. I teach or facilitate a workshop in that. And that collaborative decision making is between practitioner and patient. And what it is that it breaks down all those ideas of like hierarchy of this is the doctor, this is the patient. The first thing you want to do is just obliterate that when you walk into a room and you're seeing a patient there, first of all and foremost, they are a person. And then they are a patient. When you walk into a room with me, I'm teaching patients that when that physician walks in, I see you first as a person and then as a physician, okay? So once you get into that, it's like you want an interaction, a collaboration that is relatable. You want to feel like you're on common ground, that there is an interaction between you. The thing of like, it's not just all about medical. It's like, oh my gosh, I want you to know who I am as a person first before my illness. I was a filmmaker, a television journalist, an artist, that I love the colors magenta and red and lipstick and pugs and ancient Egypt. And likewise, I want to know what interests you. So don't be taken aback if someone asks you that. It's not like you're crossing a line or you shouldn't reveal. No, I want to know, what do you love? One question that I always ask when I go in is, are you creative? And always they'll say, oh, no, I'm in medicine because I'm not artistic. I can't draw paint. Nah. What do you love? What's your favorite color? What kind of art do you like? Have you ever mucked around with pottery? Like, I try to break every rule in the book. And so I'm hoping that that kind of is absorbed by the residents going in. Like, what can you do? First and foremost, for a collaboration to work, you've got to be human. And Sharmin, you had actually mentioned that word. You have got to be human. We can sniff out like who's just not there for us. For collaboration to work, I want you to actively listen to me. Not just like, we can tell when you're not listening. To actively listen, to be, be involved. Because when you actively listen, you're going to understand me more. When you understand me, you're going to be able to empathize with what I'm going through. And by empathizing me, you're going to be able to empower me. And by doing that, you're going to empower yourselves. You're going to feel bloody terrific about, rallying a patient up and going, you rock, doctor. And the other thing about collaboration is just pure decency, mutual respect. Yeah, kindness. You'd be surprised at how some doctors can lose their kindness with people, that it really is about being kind, about being real, authentic, transparent with us.
You're absolutely right. As you said, the first thing is to see the patient as a human being, and which is true, because at the end of the day, it's a team effort that we are trying to do, and the other person has as much input as the doctor. The patient probably has more input than the doctor.
Oh, I mean, just think, Sharmin, can you imagine going through your day, your week, your month, your career as a doctor who is just very rigid and just like being a doctor? The burnout would probably happen very soon. There wouldn't be any pleasure in that. And so to really enjoy your career, residents, you've got to like be yourself and be a person and be human in this, because that's where the real juice of being a doctor is going to come in. Yeah, you got all your medical stuff and whatnot, but it's that, that one-on-one, that interaction and how you're going to react and how we're going to build a relationship going forward. That's what matters. And that, oh my, you are just going to thrive with collaborations like that.
And this brings me to the next question, which is, a lot of the time, especially when you're a new resident, it's tough to balance efficiency with humanity. How can a new resident stay human and compassionate in a system that's rushing them to see patient after patient and give the volume?
Oh, gosh, that really is a challenge, isn't it? But on the other hand, it's actually a very simple and easy solution, is that, again, it comes down to kindness, and it comes down to respect, and it comes down to transparency and honesty. So, instead of like going, hey, I'll be back in a minute, I got other stuff to do. Like, Why? You want to, look me in the eye. It's about your eye contact with me. It's about engaging me. It's about your body language, and really be sincere. Hey, listen, I'm just really slammed around here right now, and I am really wanting to get to you. So please, just can you bear with me? Hang in there. I'm going to be back within half an hour. And if you say half an hour, then you be back within half an hour. Okay? But it doesn't take that much effort to say a few kind words, because it's also going to make you feel better. I mean, if you're being riled or feeling a bit snarky, or just, stuff is sort of looks like it's falling apart, it's going to make things worse as you keep sort of putting that onto other people. You're going to feel really happy when you're just like so polite and so respectful to someone that they're going, hey, I got your back, no problem. Like, I would get that right away. I'd go, oh, I can see you're busy, but bravo to you. Thanks so much for all that you do. So how would you want to be treated? That's how you look at it. How would you want to be treated?
You know what? I really relate to this sentence that you just said. You treat others the way you want to be treated. And I think that goes along in any profession, in any teamwork, in any collaborative partnership. And on that, I just wanted to know, is there any qualities you notice in student or resident who can naturally connect well with patients?
Yes, I do. And it's actually something that I teach as well and encourage. And any of the things that I'm saying here today for residents listening, I hope you pass these things on to your other colleagues. And I hope you can pass some of the stuff on to patients, like educate us. Like, hey, I heard this chick with, red hair talking about this. Here's whatever. But what I notice, what I think are the key factors in what's really going to make a fabulous, wonderful doctor and a great collaboration is, first of all, do you have passion? Are you passionate about what you're doing? We usually use that word in terms of art and creativity. It's across the board. Passionate. Are you like, oh my God, I cannot wait to begin this? Yeah, you're going to have nerves, of course, and whatnot. But this is like a fantastic career that I'm undertaking. So, wow. Aligned with passion is enthusiasm. I want to have a doctor who expresses enthusiasm. And again, you don't have to be big like me, for God's sake, but in your own way. Like, are you keen? Because who wants a doctor that's kind of like, well, yeah, I'd rather be golfing, or yeah, I got a golf game, or oh my gosh, no, we want to hear that you're in this because you love it, because then we're like going, whoo, I'm going to have the best damn care in the world. When I see people who are curious, wouldn't you rather be curious about something instead of like my dinosaur doctor who just didn't give a damn about what I was feeling or saying or going through? He wasn't curious in the least. I mean, isn't the whole point of becoming a doctor, being, in science and medicine, curious? What's causing this person to be like this? What can I do to help them? Oh, I'm going to investigate this and look into it. And along with being curious is openness. You have got to be open to all different things, all different people. Whoever you see in that room, you have to expect the unexpected. And again, never presume, never assume. You have to put your bias at the door. You have to check that. You have to put any kind of stereotypes you've got in your head of, oh, okay, we've got a chick here with red hair and stuff. This means something. No, you've got to get to know me. Be curious about me. Okay. One thing I just actually wanted to add to this is just very briefly from that new GP thing with the hellos and all that stuff, is one thing that became such a big deal for me in mentoring and teaching medical students is the phrase, I don't know. I had asked my GP a question about ME. This was in the early days. And really, I was the expert in it. She was learning from me, as were all my other practitioners. So I asked her this question. And instead of sort of gaslighting me or trying to take a stab in the dark, she actually pondered and she said, I don't know. But hey, I'm going to ask around. I'm going to look into this, and then I'll get back to you with what I find out. And she did. And that was the first time any physician had said, I don't know to me. And instantly it made her human. It made her relatable. It made her accessible. Oh my God, I loved her for that moment, and I've never forgotten it. She had no ego. She was vulnerable in that moment. She was authentic. It was fantastic. I'll never forget that. So if you ever have the chance, you can just quote me on that. I don't know, but I'm going to ask around, look into it, and I'll get back to you. Okay?
That's a good one. I'll try to remember that one myself. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll look into it and I'll
Yep.
get back to you.
We
On that,
don't, yeah. I was just going to say, we don't expect you to know all the answers, okay? We're not looking for that. But we do expect you to be honest with us, to be kind to us, to be respectful. So we're not expecting you to know the whole illness or disease. We just want to know you're on our side.
definitely. I think that's something that, we all thrive to do and we all try to do. And I'm really happy that you brought that up because we all start in as a new resident and there's a lot of things we don't know. And sometimes we're like, I don't know if I should say, I don't know. Like, is this even appropriate? So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. On that
Yep.
note, from what I understood, that your new GP seemed to have advocated for you a lot as well. So, if you had to give any advice on how should these residents go about advocating for patients, especially patients whose illness may not be visible?
We want you to fight for us. We want you to be there for us. And before I kind of get into any of that, one of the biggest fears of a person with a chronic illness, especially an invisible one, is that we are absolutely scared senseless that someday you're going to wake up and think, I can't do any more for this person. There's nothing more so that's it. I mean, physicians, I think, like to cure people. They like to heal people. They like to fix things. And a chronic illness is exactly that, chronic. So I want to know that you are going to be in this with me for the long haul. I want to know that you're never going to give up on me, that you're going to be by my side through all the dark, deep ends, as well as through all the crazy, triumphant joys. Okay, so when you are advocating us, you are going to bat for us. And you are going to absolutely do whatever you can to give us a chance, to make our lives better, to give us the possibilities in our life. And so that means you're going to absolutely rah for us with other colleagues, with other specialists, instead of saying, I've got this woman here who's this. My GP was writing notes saying, Karen is, wonderful and following through on this thing. She is trying to do everything within her power, humanly possible, to live the best life. I need help on this with her, and you're the one. So they would advocating in terms like that. Another way of advocating, if you're collaborative interprofessional stuff and they're kind of resisting, is you just come out and say, hey, what if this were your daughter? What if this were your mother, your wife, your partner, your best friend? Wouldn't you be doing everything possible to try to help them? That's a good line. You can use that, seriously, because it makes whoever they're presenting to or advocating to kind of go, whoa, right? It takes it out of me and puts it onto them. So that's what you want to do. And you want to advocate, if it's with me or if it's the family or the caregiver, because I'm going to tell you right now, what I do is I will advocate for you till the end of time. I believe in what you're doing. I believe what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal. You are the reason why I am alive today, that you have actually given me life.
And I'm so happy that, we have such patient like you, because it does make our job a little bit more happier, I guess, and a little bit
Yeah.
more encouraging. On that note, you also speak a lot about advocacy for the healthcare learners themselves. So,
Yes.
what would you say to a resident who is struggling emotionally or feeling like they're not good enough?
Boy, well, first of all, I'm the master of the pep talk. So this is this comes so easy for me. I just believe that everyone, given a chance, should bring out the best in other people, whether you're a patient partner, a physician, a medical student. And so if you're having a down day and stuff, and yeah, sometimes you can see it on your face. Sometimes I can see it in the sweat trickling down your face, or I can just from a word or something like that. And I'm just going to say, listen, this is one day out of thousands, out of thousands. This is your first day or your second day or first week. You know, give yourself a break because I am here for you. There are going to be patients that come your way, and you are going to have some of the most fulfilling, rewarding collaborations with them. But just know that whenever you have some of those down days, think of me. Think of a patient like me who absolutely adores you and absolutely cheers for you and wants nothing but the best for you, not just in your life as a doctor, but in your life as a person. And I sincerely mean that. And again, we don't expect you to know all the answers. We don't expect you to be perfect 100% of the time. We expect you to be human. We expect you to be authentic, real. Perfectionism can kind of make you a bit dull. It's a bit of a bore to be around a perfectionist. So, I mean, we kind of welcome sort of the odd bits of humanity in there, the flubs or whatever it is. It just makes you more endearing to us.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely cute and sweet, and it feels amazing to hear it from a patient partner. And I'm sure if any residents are listening to this, I hope they take it, all the warmth you're sharing, because it's really useful and important for all of us.
You can do it. Whatever is happening now as you begin your journey, it's going to be stories that you hopefully can chuckle about later on, but you can do it. And just think, you're being thrown into this entirely new environment. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to imagine me doing what you're doing. So, give yourself credit. It's all going to happen for you and it's all going to start to be smooth and you're going to discover who you really are. As a doctor, what does it mean to be a doctor? What does it mean to be yourself as a doctor? To really grab that profession and enjoy it, to savor what you're doing. A lot of doctors fear collaborating or teaming up with a chronically ill person with complex issues because, again, they just don't know if they're going to be able to have any help. And I can tell you right now, when you collaborate with a patient like me, who has an invisible complex chronic illness with ME, it is going to be by far one of the most fulfilling and rewarding collaborations you will ever have in your entire career. Okay? Believe me on that. I've seen it happen, and I know you can do it.
That's so amazing. And this has been a wonderful episode. I have learned myself so much from you. I'm not there yet in residency, but I'm sure the new residents are really going to appreciate this talk. That we are coming toward the end of our episode. I would like to finish it with a little rapid fire. So I'm just going to throw some question at you. Don't think too much or anything. Just say what comes to your mind. All right?
Okay, good. Go.
Okay. So let's go on the first one. One word that defines great healthcare.
Trust.
Yep, trust is an important one. I definitely agree on that. What about a quality every resident should have?
Self-expression, transparency.
Definitely. One thing patients remember forever.
Kindness, how we were treated.
Yeah.
It's not what you do, it's how you make me feel.
Yeah, that's an amazing one. So, on the next one, what makes someone feel careful?
Believing in me.
Yep, I believe in you, Karen.
Thanks. Thanks, Sharmin. I believe
On
in you too,
that.
baby girl.
On that. Coffee, tea, or something more glamorous?
Oh, gosh, a root beer ice cream float. Okay.
And on that, the last question is one thing that still gives you hope in healthcare.
Oh, this is big. I have seen such a change in medical education at UBC over the past 8 years. I have seen the change. I can see where it's going. That whole idea of collaboration, of empathy, of human, of authenticity. It's actually being taught right now, and I want all the residents to know that actually you are at the cusp of going forward and introducing this. This is really important what you're doing. You're going to take all that's coming and move into the world with it. So you're kind of on the front lines, and I think the possibilities and potential for you is just exciting beyond words.
Karen, thank you so much for sharing your story, your perspective, and your wisdom with us today.
Thank you.
And on that note, to everyone starting residency this July, as Karen said, you do not need to be perfect to make a difference. Sometimes it's the interaction, right? It's the moment where the patient feels seen, heard, and respected. That's what matters.
Absolutely. Well put, Sharmin. Well put.
Thank you so much. On that, if you're joining a Royal College accredited residency program, don't forget to join as a resident affiliate. It's free and you can start claiming your CPD credit. My name is Sharmin, and see you at the next Specialty Cafe.